Saugata Bhattacharya, who's economist at Axis Bank, joins us on the show as well. Saugata, it's great to have you on the show. Just put it in context. I mean, we've had S&P come out and say that they're revising their outlook on India. It's not a downgrade. They're saying there's a 33% chance as of now for a potential downgrade. But if the situation changes in the interim, they would look at stabilizing their ratings. So is it really I mean, does it really raise a cause of concern right now, or should the market say, you know what, they've not downgraded, let's hold our horses before we can react?
Well, I mean, the S&P ratings outlook change is certainly reflective of the concerns, the macroeconomic concerns, other concerns that we currently know. It's nothing. I mean, they don't base their decision on something which is materially different from what we know. So this is basically the outcome of a series of events that have happened over the last 6 months odd, which have cumulatively increased concerns about growth potential. Because India, remember, whatever the other potential comparative vulnerabilities are vis-a-vis our emerging market peers, our high growth has pretty much taken care of some of these concerns. And it is precisely when growth begins to look as if it's coming down, and structurally, potential growth, India's potential growth, this is not just a cyclical phenomenon, that comes down, that raises concerns. And I think this was probably the driver for some change. Although I can't think of any short-term triggers that might have caused this action.
How are you guys looking at it per se? I mean, not just what S&P has highlighted, but the concerns that persist. Mr. Oswal's point about this being a reiteration, so to say. You think things could get worse, or this is pretty much about the bottom that we're seeing in terms of how, one, the fiscal consolidation numbers could shape up, two, the problems regarding inflation? You think this could worsen, or this is about it?
The sense is this is probably about as low as we can go. There are significant downside risks. It's always a balance of probability in the current uncertain environment. But the sense is that there is likely to be some incremental move in terms of reforms, however moderate those reforms might seem. But given the current expectations on the pace of reform activities, even some small movement is likely to have a fairly large impact on perceptions regarding India. And if there are some small movements in terms of capex and investments, which the latest CMI numbers seem to suggest there might be, if that actually happens, then there is a possibility that we have seen the worst.
Right. So I'm just wondering, I'm sorry to butt in out here, but I'm just wondering, the difference, if at all, that came about, at least from the statement, seemed to be that till now, they were pretty much aware of all the other factors with regards to inflation, so on and so forth. They are now taking cognizance of the fact that India will not be the 8% GDP growth country that they earlier envisaged, but would be a 6% GDP growth possibility, possibly. And that is one reason why they are talking about lowering the outlook.
Yes.
Is that a fair assumption?
I think you're absolutely on the ball on this. That's the first statement that they make. And their 5.3% per capita GDP, if the population growth numbers are right, would translate to about a 6.7% growth for FY13. And that's probably on the side of the 6.5 to 7% that we ourselves are expecting. So I think that's the primary reason as of now. Why this time? We don't know. But I mean, that's probably the primary driver for the ratings outlook change.
Okay, so before we let you go, just one word on how things progress from here, because they're talking about a 33% chance of a potential downgrade if things don't change. How does this really work? On what basis would they take that final call? And over what time?
I think the key driver that we need to, the key risk that we need to keep looking at now is the fiscal side. Because if there's a deterioration in the fiscal condition, severe deterioration, we expect some small slippage, which I think is uniform across the board. If there's some major deterioration, that will also have an effect on the current account, India's external current account. And these will probably be the drivers that will goad a ratings agency to take some ratings action.